Hello, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever in the world you're joining from. Welcome to Open Source Friday. Friends, today is one of those days where I have very low confidence on my setup. So if you don't mind, let me know with a thumbs up that you hear me, you see me. That will be amazing. Hi, Sakit, welcome. Welcome, everyone. We'll give folks a moment to join up. Let's see, let's just make sure that. Hi, is that you can hear me wave? Hi, Luis. Maybe Tyler, who I can see behind the screen, can give me a thumbs up if they can hear me. Oh, yay. Okay, awesome. What Tyler doesn't know is that I've done a whole 5 minutes of this before without anyone being able to hear me. So we're not going to do that today. But welcome to Open Source Friday, friends. You made it. You made it. I hope your week was fruitful and not stressful. But I know that that's not always the reality for most of us. We are here to talk about open source, celebrate the maintainers, the projects, the products, and all of you who are working on amazing projects like the project that we have today. And this is a bit earlier than we normally do streams because we really wanted to talk to this human, and they are they're in the other side of the world. They're joining us live from Japan, I believe. And so that's why we're coming to you with this sort of special edition. But welcome, everyone. Hello, hello. Hi, so welcome. For those who are asking what this is Open Source Friday. This is a show sponsored by GitHub where we talk to contributors and maintainers of open source projects. I dare say cool open source projects, although I don't think there is such a thing as a uncool open source project. Yes, I am representing the GitHub swag today. I mean, if this isn't the cleverest thing you ever seen, very cool, right? I have to say also, I own the socks, which are lovely little tube socks, my favorite, and they say footer. It's the little things, friends. It's the little things. But it's wonderful to be here. Thank you so much for joining, everyone. All right, it is Friday, Simon. I know. I know. I'm with you. I don't even know where this week went. But listen, friends, besides having an amazing show today, we have some really fun things happening next week. The entire GitHub team, well, some of the GitHub team is going to be traveling to Atlanta, Georgia for Render ATL, one really fun conference. So if you are in the Georgia area, Atlanta metro, or can find a way to get yourself there, right? And have not registered for Render because you don't have a ticket, but you really, really, really want to go, and you know you can go, send me a DM. DM me on the bird side, please. I will go ahead and post my handle here. Just send me a DM. But then again, friends, only do it if you know for sure you're going to be there because I have one ticket to give away and I don't want to take the opportunity from someone who's actually able to attend. The conference starts next week. There's a ton of auxiliary events. Like on Tuesday, there is a panel at the Microsoft offices where we're going to have a badge pickup party, and I'm going to be there in this panel that is basically across all of Microsoft subsidiaries. So it's going to be really interesting. We have folks from Xbox, from LinkedIn, from Microsoft, from GitHub. So, hey, come join me at that on Tuesday and you can get your badge. And then on Wednesday, we're having a full day of workshops. My amazing colleague who will be here a little later with another Open Source Friday, you get two today, is going to be there, Kadesha, that lady Deb. And we're teaching a workshop on Tuesday. We're going to teach you how to build an app. I don't want to say what the app is because that's just a surprise for people that are coming to the workshop. But all of these things are included in your Render Atlanta ticket. So again, if you don't have a ticket, haven't purchased a ticket, but know that you're going to be in Atlanta and know that you want to attend, please send me a DM and I will try my best to get you registered today so you can make your plans for next week. The conference kicks off officially on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And it's a vibe. If you've never been, I super recommend this conference. the Justin and team have done incredible things for Atlanta and bring this conference. It's about as good a tech conference as it can get. Quality speakers, quality workshops, quality networking. A lot of folks going there to hire. So if you're in the market, definitely come by. There's a really diverse lineup of speakers. Yours truly is giving a talk on, I guess, the first day. I'm gonna be showing you, I'm gonna be telling you a story as usual, but I'm gonna be showing you a sort of interesting solution I came up with GitHub MCP and using the GitHub Models API to fix a problem that I had. I think it's gonna be interesting. So come, please join me. So here we go. If you don't have a ticket, hit me on DMs. But now that we're giving a moment for folks to join up, and thank you for being here. I would love for you to share this stream. Unfortunately, this week we were running around like absolute maniacs, and I did not do a ton of promotion, but I feel like everyone knows Supabase. Yes, that is our guest today. And so whether you know Supabase or not, whether you are even, this is even in your purview of your tech stack, I think it's going to be a really interesting stream. So it is my absolute pleasure. Tyler, I'm just going to let you introduce yourself. I feel like I am rambling. Even the tickets are not free. They cost like $800 or $900. So Tyler, welcome.
Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, it's my pleasure being here. Those who are joining from the United States, thanks for the early morning stream joining. I'm glad to be here. If you're from somewhere else, great to see you. I am here from Tokyo, Japan. So a little bit about myself. I'm Tyler, and I work as a DevRel engineer here at Supabase, and I'm here to talk everything about open source and Supabase, and I'm super excited for it.
That's amazing. Tyler, where are you joining from? Before I think I said Japan, but I might have been lying. Was I
Yeah,
lying?
no, that's correct. Yeah, I'm tuning in from Tokyo, Japan right now. So it is past 11 p.m. right now.
Oh my goodness.
It's
Wow.
not bad.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I appreciate the energy that you're bringing to this super great stream for you, and then also
Yeah.
for being so flexible to actually joining us, because I know that it's not the best thing. So thank you.
No, thank you so much for the accommodation. Yeah.
All
I know it's
right.
like 7 a.m. or something for you. Yeah, but yeah, great. Thank
Yeah,
you.
but listen, it's Friday. We made it. Well, it's gonna be Saturday for you soon. So let's get started.
Oh
All right,
yeah.
Tyler. First of all, again, thank you for being here. And you say, what is your official title at Supabase? Is
Yeah,
developer
I'm a
relation
DevRel engineer.
engineer. I love
Yep.
companies that have this that structure. That's super interesting. That's a conversation for another day. We need to do one of this and talk to a bunch of DevRel people, especially the work in
Mhm,
companies that are built top open source projects. I find them
mhm.
really, really interesting. But what does a DevRel engineer do?
Yeah, so basically, this is my job going out there and telling people how awesome Supabase how awesome Supabase is, and how you can use it, and doing demos, showing up on YouTube, providing example apps, articles. Basically, I just get to go out there and tell people how awesome Supabase is.
All right. I like that. Awesome job.
Yeah, yeah,
So for
certainly.
those who are joining now, and maybe, I mean, I feel like I'll be hard pressed to think that a lot of people out there in tech don't know Supabase, but would you mind give us a little bit of background as to how Supabase was founded and what
Yeah,
is Supabase?
yeah. So, okay, Supabase is categorized in backend as a service. So basically, you can take Supabase and any kind of front end and build your entire application. So Supabase is suite of tool that takes care of all the backend functionality, starting from basic. So it has a database, and we are centered around Postgres database. And
Okay.
around that Postgres database, when you create tables, Supabase creates APIs automatically, and it also comes with authentication. It also comes with file storage. So if you want to accept images or videos or maybe PDFs from your user, they can be stored in Supabase storage. We also have real-time capabilities so that if you want to build chat application. We got you covered there. And we also have edge functions in case you want to talk to external APIs such as large language models or payment solutions. You can use the edge functions. So really, we have all the capabilities of the backend kind of automatically be generated for you, and you can just connect any kind of front end with Supabase to build your application, whether that's a mobile app or a web app.
That's an amazing description. Thank you. How long ago was Supabase founded?
Yeah, Supabase was founded pretty much the same time as COVID. So around early 2020 was when
That's
it
what I thought.
started. And yeah, interesting story about Subaru's founding story is that, because it was started alongside with COVID, we naturally adopted this remote first culture. That's why I get to be in Japan and still work at Supabase. We, hire just from anywhere in the world. It is as long as that person's really capable and amazing, we hire them. We don't really care where that person is living in. So yeah, that's the amazing culture that we have at Supabase.
I love that. I love that. That's so great. And so it was founded around COVID time, like many, many amazing companies. And what inspired, I guess, the founders? Like what were they looking for an alternative of, or what was it out there that they saw a huge gap that they wanted to create this project?
Yeah. So originally, yeah, our founders. So we have two founders, couple and aunt, and they were both really into Postgres. They love Postgres. It's a powerful, capable database that is becoming super popular these days even more, right? And they wanted to build something around Postgres, and they first started out by building out this real-time solution around Postgres database. So it was this piece of software that you can kind of connect to existing Postgres database, and it'll automatically broadcast changes happening in your database to the connected clients. And they started out with this solution. They talked to a few companies, try to pitch this solution, right?
Hmm.
And the few companies that they talked to were not so comfortable, kind of putting this, new software right next to their production database. And after talking to a bunch of companies, they were like, okay, it seems like nobody's gonna install this solution. It seems like we're gonna have to pivot and like become a database hosting company. Like database hosting is not an easy thing. Like there's a lot of
Mm.
responsibility. Like your customers will be saving very important customer data on the database. So like they really didn't want to. They had this back and forth moment of like maybe there's something else. But do we really want to do database hosting? It's tough. But at the end, they were like, okay, it seems like we have to become a database hosting company. So that's the moment where Supabase kind of started. So they became a database hosting company, and right off the bat, so the real time solution was the first product, but they also needed to have like regular APIs on top of Supabase to basically communicate with the database.
Hmm.
So they went out and looked for a open source solution that kind of does this, and they found this project called PostgREST. So that's Postgres with REST API. So PostgREST. Um, and they kind of integrated that into the Supabase platform. And at that point, you could talk back and forth using the API to your database, as well as you had this real-time broadcasting feature, so you could build chat apps and also just a basic crowd application as well. And our founders were really into open source. They believed in the power of open source. So yeah, basically whenever we add a new feature, we first look for existing open source solutions out there and
Love
try to
that.
add that to our ecosystem. And if nothing is available, we try to build it. But so I talked about how we started out with as a real-time solution, which is fully open source. You can find the repo. And then PostgREST was an existing open source project that we kind of incorporated. Now, the product that we offered after that was Auth. And for Auth, we found a great open source solution out there called Gochu that was originally developed by Netlify. So we uh, hosted that on our infrastructure, and now it's the core part of our Auth offering.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of how Subaru started. Sorry, I kind of went on and on, but
No,
yeah.
that was I love. Listen, I love this deep dive on background of because especially because the Supabase is like being on a fire, like upwards, right? Like since launch till now, like it's a very, very widely adopted project. And I love
Yeah,
that
I think we're
understanding the
getting fortunate.
philosophy of adoption of, like we don't want to build everything. If there is already an open source project that's doing it, then sort of incorporating that and helping making it better. That's pretty cool. That is very, very cool. And I shared the link to I guess this is the main Supabase
Yep.
GitHub repository. So friends,
Thank
go
you.
by and drop a star there. You can also
Great.
sponsor this project.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
and it looks like, I mean, this looks like an excellent, excellent option for all of you who are starting to look at alternatives to see what you want to do. Start with open source first. I love your tagline, building a weekend scale to millions. That's
Oh, yeah.
awesome. That's awesome. All
It's
right.
awesome, isn't it? Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Fun fact about Subaru's main repo: we recently joined the top 100 club of GitHub repository. Like any kind of GitHub repository in terms of number of stars, we finally made it to the top 100. So yeah, we've been
Oh, wow.
fortunate enough to have this amazing community around us, and yeah, we made it, and hopefully we can keep going strong.
Amazing. Well, I encourage folks to go by and leave a star before we get into how people can contribute, because I think that's a big part of this program. What we want to do is, not only create awareness for the products, but also give folks an opportunity to belong to this ecosystem, right? And a big part of that is contribution. But I wonder if you could take us for a spin. If I can share your screen and just like show us some things, that would be amazing.
Oh yeah. Okay. So here I have a basic demo app that I build using Supabase and React. So this is like a typical to-do application where I can kind of drag and drop different tasks from to-do, in progress, done, Kanban style. I don't think this is new to everyone, but this is built on top of Supabase. So it's utilizing the auto-generated API that I mentioned. It's using authentication, so I am signed in using my email address. Um, and yeah, so if we jump into the Supabase dashboard that's connected to this, we can see a table editor. Uh, and within the table editor, we have all the tables that we have defined for this application. We have a profiles table and tasks table. And within tasks, we have all the tasks that you saw, for example, design loading animations. If you go back, that is design loading animations right here. So you can kind of see, it's being pulled in from the database. And as I make changes, so design loading animation is in progress state right now. But if okay, let's actually do this. Optimize database queries. So
Okay.
optimize database queries is right here. Optimize database queries is in progress state. But if we pull this to done, optimize database queries, if we hit refresh, just like that,
Oh, wow.
turns into done. So it's very simple. And all you have to do in order to build this on the coding side of things is basically you can just talk to it. Feels like you can develop like you're directly talking to the database. Behind the scenes, there's APIs and it's totally secure and everything. But this is the code on the client side. So this is a client side JavaScript that's running on user's machine. And we have this fetch tasks, and here we have the Supabase query. So this is how Supabase queries are built. You can start with Supabase, and then you can pass in a from to specify which table that you want to talk to, my table, for example.
Hmm.
And then you can either select all the data or insert, update, delete, all the good stuff. And that's how you communicate back and forth between your database. So we have the select, and we also have many filtering options. Obviously, when you query a database, there's a lot of filtering options. you can do with where clause. But we have, for example, EQ stands for equals to. So when you want to, for example, have fetch all the tasks that are like where the status is equal to something, then you would use EQ and pass like status is done or something like that. Or you have greater than or equals, in, like, all the possible filters that you could think of in Postgres. We have it available, so you can construct pretty complex queries within Supabase. But one powerful feature that I want to highlight that made me fall in love with Supabase, and I think makes a lot of people fall in love with Supabase, is role level security policy. Role level security. It's so our core belief at Supabase is that Postgres is a powerful database, and
Mm-hmm.
all we need to do is expose that powerful feature capabilities of Postgres to the user. It'll just create a great developer experience. So we try not to add on too much on top of the existing Postgres ecosystem. We try to use the existing Postgres features as much as possible. So this role security feature that I'm about to talk to is a authorization mechanism that's built right into Postgres. So here's a demo. So I am logged in, and like I introduced myself earlier, I'm a software engineer. I'm not a design person. But if we look at this Kanban board, we see a few tasks that are tagged with this design. I kind of highlighted it with this pink color. These are not my tasks,
Mm-hmm.
but they're showing up here for some reason. I think it's some kind of misconfiguration on the back end. So let's fix that together. So what we can do here is we can jump into our authentication tab within the Supabase dashboard. And here we have a menu called policies. This is where we define how users can access our data within the database. So role security policy is a mechanism that controls who access what part of the database.
Okay.
And the reason why I'm seeing these design tasks, which probably belongs to someone else, is because there's a misconfiguration in the role level security policy. So what I can do is I can jump into this select role level policies for the tasks table. Now, when I do that, I see that this policy is set to true, meaning anybody under any circumstance, this tasks table can be read by anyone, which is not great, which is a misconfiguration. So we need to fix this. What I can do here is we are signed in using Supabase authentication. So we have this auth.uid function, which returns my signed in user ID. And we can compare that value with a user ID column that exists within the tasks table. So this
Okay.
user ID column represents which task belongs to which user. Now, by comparing this, I'm only granting access to the tasks row that is belonging to that particular user. So if I run this query and save this policy, it was saved, come back, and refresh the page. Without updating any kind of client-side code, I no longer see the design tasks, right? I only see my task. And that's because we fixed the access control issue at the database level. So this is the powerful things about Supabase. So really powerful thing about Postgres is that you can ensure that user will not access to the wrong data. Everything is secured at the database level. So you can make mistakes on the client side code, you can make mistakes on the application side code, but as long as you have the proper role level security policy set at the database level, the data is secure and you're not going to leak any information or have misaccess to the wrong person by messing up your application layer code. this rollable security is what really made me fall in love with Supabase.
That's
Now,
really cool. That's really
yeah,
cool. I love
yeah.
that granular, I guess, yeah, it's like a granular level of security. And then for you to be able to just make the change that you just made in one place, and then it's automatically like, I guess the role, I don't know if it's assigned by roles, but it seemed to like just very intuitively now the correct people have the access that they're supposed to. Very
Yeah.
cool. Very cool. So how did you set, like, for example, the policies for that? Because you just fixed this manually, but is there a way to set policies where you don't have to come in? Like you identify the error and then you went in and fixed it, right? But I don't know if there is like uh, ways of setting up policy, or is that what we were just watching?
Yeah, so there was one way there was one way to set up a policy. So one way of updating a policy is by going into the Supabase dashboard
Hmm.
and manually going into it and editing it. So it's Supabase. When you go to the dashboard, you have access to all the Postgres feature through our GUI, right? And that's what I did. I accessed the rollable security policy through GUI, but everything is Postgres and everything is SQL. This rollable security policy that we set, um, this thing is also just SQL. So what you can
Okay.
do is you can actually have proper database migration, which is a typical way of how a production application does it. So in this application side code, I have these migration files that I've created for this project. And within each one of these, here's the migration file that I created for adding authentication. We can see that we are setting these rollable security policies for the tasks table to assign, select policy to the appropriate person, and insert policy and update policy and then delete policy to allow these actions to be taken by the correct person. And this is the common way of doing it in a production grade way. But if you just want to, kind of go into the dashboard and quickly fix things, that's also possible. And obviously, I didn't have True back then. That was more of a demo purpose of like, I did that and wanted to showcase the powerfulness of role security policy. But yeah, does that answer your question?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And folks, for those of you who are tuning in and watching, like, if you have any questions about role level security or anything about Supabase, please take advantage of the time that we have with Tyler here. This is very, very cool. And I'm gonna take a quick pause to scroll through the chat and see if there has been any questions that I
Yeah.
haven't. I think it looks like there's a couple of folks who use Supabase. Of course,
Awesome.
thank you for being here. Welcome. And we have folks joining from Mozambique, from all over the world. So be sure to check out the repo, of course, and leave leave a star there. And then if you have any questions about what you just saw, like that will be awesome. Just drop them in the chat and I'll be happy to read them for you. Okay, this is really cool. I think, is there a repo where we can take a look at the demo that you just showed us, Tyler, or is this just your own internal working? I think
Yeah,
folks want to kind of play
there
about with it.
yeah, there is a repo. Could I share that after the stream? Sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. No worries at
Okay.
all. So,
Yep.
for Jorge, who's asking, don't worry, I will get you that after the stream. So if you want to go take a look, but I'm sure there is a ton of other content also on the Supabase site that
Oh
I
yeah.
see there is like discussions, and there is a ton of other stuff that you can do. Also, the GitHub, it looks like the GitHub discussions are enabled and very active as well.
Oh yeah.
Um,
You can go in there and ask any kind of super based question. It'll be answered by our awesome community members. And yeah, touching on some example apps, you can find a bunch of example apps in many languages, frameworks within the main Supabase repo. If you go on the Supabase/examples directory, then you can find a lot of examples there as well.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Okay. Well, is there anything else you want to show us now, or should we talk about
Yeah, I could
contributors? Or
actually go on and on and on, but
ah,
it's yeah, more a matter of time, but yeah, maybe lightly touch on storage as well.
Oh, yes,
So
important, please. Let's do that.
yeah, from this interface, we can upload images and we can save changes and it'll show up. And this image right now is being uploaded on to Supabase storage. So the neat thing about Supabase storage is even storage is kind of incorporated into Postgres. We don't quite store blobs images within Postgres database. It's actually stored in Amazon S3, AWS S3, but we have this mechanism of controlling the access through rollable security. So same thing that we saw with database, we can control who has access to what part of the storage through rollable security. So within the Superbase dashboard under storage menu, if we go to policies, we have all these policies that controls who has access to what um, folder or what bucket. And if we take a look at this insert policy, we can see that the insert policy says that the auth UID, so the user ID, has to match the first path of the folder. So what that means is if we go back and go take a look at this storage, this random string right here is my user ID, and that has to match my user ID. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to upload it. So this is kind of controlling, how users can upload it. They cannot just create a random folder and upload it there. They have to they have their own dedicated folder, and that's their workspace, and that's kind of how we can guarantee that different users don't collide, or different users wouldn't be able to override each other, or things like that. But it's kind of cool how even storage is, we were able to kind of migrate the storage ecosystem into the Supabase ecosystem and have it control through Postgres. Is yeah, I think it's a great developer experience, and I just love it so much. When the storage was announced, I was not working for Supabase yet, and like from the outside, I was like, wow, this is really awesome.
That's awesome. Okay. I appreciate you going over that. I think there
Yeah.
was a quick question on the chat. Let me
Oh yeah.
scroll up a bit. Oh, NoSQL, about NoSQL
Mm.
support,
Sure.
or
Yeah.
yeah, let's chat about that, because I guess NoSQL versus Supabase SQL.
Yeah.
Um, and I'll go ahead and let me put the question on there. What about, and and by the way, if you want to add any extra context, Ibrahim, feel free to do it. What about NoSQL database Supabase? Good grief.
Yeah. Yeah. Great. So the amazing thing about Postgres is that if you want to use it as a NoSQL database, you can. So Postgres
Okay.
database has a data type called JSON or JSONB. So sample NoSQL column. I'm creating a new column within my table,
Okay.
and in the data type, I can just choose JSONB, which stands for JSON binary, which is basically a more efficient version of JSON. And I can hit save. And what this allows me to do is it allows me to interact with a new JSON type column. So it's just a JSON. I can have foo bar, and I can close that, and it's now saved. I can basically do anything that JSON does here. So I can just throw in a whole chunk of random unstructured data in this column, and then it'll still function. And the great thing is Postgres allows us to index these columns as well. So just because we're using a JSON column doesn't mean things won't be efficient. You can index it, and it'll be very scalable and fast.
Very cool. Very cool. So what's I guess a scenario where, and thanks for the question, Ibrahim. That's very thoughtful. Um, Either a scenario where you see developers what they might expect NoSQL sort of solutions, or that you've seen how they're integrating this.
Yeah,
Um,
so I think the best thing to do here is try to use structured data as much as possible, but once in a
Okay.
while you're gonna come across unstructured data. And we actually take advantage of this JSON-B column at Supabase as well. So Supabase auth is also incorporated into your database, and you can actually take a look at the Supabase auth table, which is managed by Supabase. So these are kind of enabled automatically is when you use Supabase authentication. But within here, we have a metadata column, which is right here. So we have this app metadata column which contains unstructured data. It can be anything. So in this case, we have this provider email and then provider's email. But if you use, GitHub login, you would have something else in here. And like depending on what kind of login method you have or how exactly you log in, you have different information in here. So this is a piece of unstructured data, unpredictable data
Hmm.
that could kind of change its shape depending on how you use it. And we have this raw app metadata column that we can just chuck a whole chunk of JSON blob in here and it'll still work. So that's the common use case that I see. Whenever you have some kind of unstructured or unpredictable data format, just add everything in a JSON or JSON-B column, and all the predictable data, all the structured data is still best to kind of kept in traditional relational database manner. So you have your regular string column and integer column and timestamp column and whatnot.
There you go. That's awesome. All right. I like that comment by Cicero. Use the best solution for each problem. That's true. It depends.
Exactly. Yeah, it
Um,
depends.
and then there was a question about auth earlier. I'm gonna see if I can find it, and it might be a bit.
Hmm.
Let's see if there we are. And thank
Oh
you for
yeah.
your patience while we get to all of this. With auth, I couldn't update the app and user metadata properties consistently until I resorted to using the arming functions. What is the correct way to modify the app metadata property on a user using the regular auth update user function?
This is interesting. You should be able to just call the auth.update user function, and it should generally allow you to update it. My guess is that you might have some kind of trigger, Postgres trigger, that is connected to the auth.user table. And whenever you try to make a certain update, maybe the trigger is not allowing it depending on how exactly you have it configured. But yeah, for those who don't know what Postgres trigger is, it's a mechanism within Postgres that can trigger something when something happens. So in this case, a common use case for a trigger within Supabase Auth is whenever a new user is created, you want to copy certain piece of data from that new this users table and copy it into some other table. Maybe that's a different table that's managed by the developer. And what that trigger allows us to do is when a malformed data comes in, it'll kind of reject it and it'll roll back everything. So users wouldn't be able to be in this intermediate state where they are authenticated, but their proper copied row isn't created. Would never happen. It's either their sign up just fails, or they're properly signed in and signed up. So I would guess if update user function is giving you trouble, I would guess it has something with the triggers, but it would be, yeah, we would need to kind of maybe look into it more. But yeah, post it on GitHub discussions maybe, and you might get your question answered there.
Oh, excellent. Yes. Let me grab that link because it looks like this is super active as well. Like I was just briefly scrolling through. So,
Yeah.
not to worry, Hupernikitis. It's like a Kubernetes thing. I can't say it. But I'm posting the link right now on the chat on Twitch. So go over there, grab that link, and post this question on the discussion. I'd love to see if you got some resolution. But Tyler, thank you for giving it a go, though. Like this is great.
Yeah.
I love it when we
My
get people
pleasure.
that's like, please a little bit side tech support, a little,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
a little tech support. I love it. All right. Is there anything else you want to make sure that we touch on?
Yeah, let's see. Well, I think Supabase is a great project to get started with open source contribution. I started out my open source contribution journeys with Supabase actually
Yeah.
a few years back, and the people are nice. And you know, when if you want to try to contribute anything to the Supabase repo, I think it's one of the easiest way to try to get into open source contributions. So, scroll through the Supabase open issues, or if you find a typo within the documentation or anything, everything at Supabase is open source. The documentation is open source and everything. So try to find it and fix it. And get your name up in there in the list of contributors.
I love that. Thank you for adding that disclaimer about like what's a contribution because they are all contributions. This is
Yeah,
amazing, and you do
exactly.
have labels in place. So
Yeah, we
there
have.
is a first good issue
Yeah,
label, and there is right now there are 9 open issues. So listen, if you've been looking to dip your toes into open source and you're not sure where to start, like this might be the project.
for sure.
Amazing, amazing. Okay, so what types of contributions are you looking for the most now? And we touched obviously, like we just shared the good first issue. So there are some there are with documentation, something on templating. There is it looks like some authentication, some JWT things. Mostly like there's a lot of documentation. So this is a really good you don't understand like for and I always say this when you come new to a project and you're looking at
Hmm.
it through your fresh lens, it's
Hmm.
unbelievable the things that you catch that once you're so honed in and like heads down and then you kind of miss things that for someone that's coming in new it might be obvious. This is a
Yeah.
broken flow. This could have been a better experience. So your contributions here can be super powerful, so don't be discouraged because you've never been in the project, you haven't used Supabase. I think every piece of information that you kind of give back as part of your initial impression and usage can be super powerful to improve documentation. So that might be the space. But beyond the initial like contributors, like for folks who have been contributing to the project for years now, like what type of contributions are you looking for the most? What's on the roadmap for Supabase? What can we get excited about?
Yeah, I guess what's great about Supabase is that we have various types of projects. So, our main repo is a bunch of TypeScript for the most part, but our real-time server is written in Elixir. Our auth server is in Go. We have a bunch of Rust projects. We have client libraries for all the framework, Flutter, Kotlin, Swift, and everything. So like any kind of background that you come with, I'm sure there's something that you can contribute to at Supabase. So just scroll through the list of repositories, and maybe you might come across something that you're more familiar with, and that's always a great way to contribute. And we're happy to take any kind of contributions that are coming in for the community. So yeah, for those who have contributed, thank you so much. And for those who are looking to, I'm sure we got something in your space as well.
I love it. So listen, TypeScript, Go, Rust, Python, Dart, you name it, it's there.
Exactly.
So there will be a place for you there. And there is your documentation is super bomb too, by the way, which
Thank
is
you. Yeah, yeah. We
amazing.
have
I don't know if
awesome
anyone mentioned
documentation
it
people.
earlier, but your documentation is incredible. Uh, I love to see this. I love to see it. So I'm going to drop a link to set documentation as well so that folks can get started too. And then I don't know if you can share anything about like roadmap or what's coming up next within Supabase. What are you working on right now that's exciting?
Yeah, let's see. How much can I share? But a great way of staying on top of Subaru's updates is, well, one, monitor the GitHub repository because we're open source company. We do everything openly. So like if you really want
Yes.
to stay on top of what's going on at Supabase, you can just monitor our repository and you'll be able to understand everything that's going on. But aside from that, we have this event called Launch Weeks that happens 3 times a year, and the next one is Next one is not announced yet, but it's happening soonish.
Okay.
So almost.
I love how you call yourself that.
But
Listen,
yeah,
Tyler, I do
it's
that all the
happening
time.
soonish. Yeah. But yeah,
So
so
stay
this launch
tuned.
week, yeah, soon, yeah, soonish. So launch week is where we announce all the cool updates at Supabase launch week. So 5 days of the week, we launch a new feature or product every single day of the week, and we usually launch more than five. So that's where you hear all these awesome updates that's coming from the Supabase team. So keep an eye out for launch weeks and uh, maybe see you there. And we have a community meetups that happens alongside launch weeks across the world. I think last launch week we had like 200 meetups across the world. So
What?
certainly, yeah,
Wow.
certainly more than one meetups per country. So I'm sure you can find a meetup in nearby neighborhood, hopefully, and you can attend those meetups, learn more about Superbase, maybe hang out with people who love Superbase, get Superbase swags as well, and have a great time.
I love it. First of all, this is amazing. I love the idea of a launch week. That is so cool. I haven't been tuning into those, but I'll be sure to tune in on this year.
Yeah.
Folks, they have a social account on X. I am sure whenever the announcement for the date of launch weeks and all those meetups happens, it'll probably be sent out here. So go ahead and give
Yep.
them a follow too. This is amazing. And you were talking about swag, and I just have to like really quickly be a complete like listen,
Oh yeah.
like let me just share well if my computer lets me. I was telling Tyler earlier that I have a new machine, and it's the joys of setting everything up. Mind you, there's a lot of good open source projects that are helping us do things easier in this space now, but I struggle, friends. I struggle. So I can't share it, but I'm going to share the tweet. You share a tweet a couple, well, an hour ago, asking people what kind of swag they wanted Supabase to make. And I'm like, I want every single thing in this. It is so cool. You know what I'm talking about? Let me share the tweet here on the messages. Yeah, you got your
Oh yeah, that
yeah,
one.
your little. So I love this. Was this like a AI generated image, or is this like
Yeah,
actually a mock-up?
exactly. This is AI generated image, but yeah, as a dev role, thinking about what kind of swags to create. Maybe I can pull it up on
Yeah, would you pull it
my
up?
laptop.
And listen, friends, and also for us here, like
This one,
what is your favorite piece of swag you ever received anywhere, or from an open source project or from a company? Tell us. Me and Tyler here trying to do our
please.
jobs.
Yeah, we need more ideas. But yeah, as a dev role engineer at Subus, we always think about what kind of swags to give out. So yeah, this was just another way to ask the community what kind of swags they want. And yeah, if you have great ideas, let me know. We're always looking for more awesome swags to give out to people.
All right. Well, listen here. So I'm still waiting on people to let us know what is your favorite swag that you got, and then uh always mugs says random name. Thank you. Yeah, mugs are you can't go wrong with mugs. Mugs are great. Mugs are great. I don't know. I I hate to be a
Yeah.
GitHub chill, but this hat is like my favorite
Oh
recently.
yeah.
And it's kind of like super base colorish.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah, yeah. It is. It is.
the green has
Super
got the
green.
vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Very
listen,
cool.
I love the green and the logo. Just saying, keep me in mind when you make some hats like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Amazing. Super base, the hanging super base strip. What is a hanging super base strip? I don't know what that is,
Hanging
Cicero,
super base strip.
but sounds cool, whatever it is. Of course, the mechanical keyboards are always great. So listen here, if you have any super base swag, what's been your favorite? Share in the chat and then let us know, because
Oh yeah.
Tyler is about to make your dreams come true here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, so if we've covered the project itself, the types of contributions that you're welcome in, how there is basically something for everyone here that you can be a part of
Mm-hmm.
Supabase. I love this idea of the over 200 simultaneous meetups happening during your launch week. That is incredible. If you're a community organizer doing those things, let me tell you, you are a star, because it is not easy to
Yeah.
do those things, and you do those things because you care. So I love
Yeah.
that. I love it. I love it. I wonder if you have a direct link to your. I'll take a look in the website and see to your. Are you hosting this in Meetup or is it hosted somewhere else? Uh,
It's usually in Luma,
on Luma. Okay.
but certain meetups in certain countries are like they use their regional meetup page, but mostly
Yeah,
Luma.
mostly Luma. Okay,
Yeah.
beautiful. And you do have an events page um on your website as well, where there is some on-demand events, and I think you probably publish the events that are coming up. So, folks, you can go ahead and follow them on X, follow the
Yep.
GitHub repo, so that you know for sure when this launch week is happening. And Tyler, where can people follow you? I don't think
Oh
I
yeah,
shared
you can
your
find me
actual.
at yeah. A lot of people ask me how to pronounce this, but D Shukert Junior is my handle. So Shukert is my last name, but D Shukert Junior is where you can find me. You can find me with this handle on anything X or LinkedIn or whatever other social media out there. I usually go by this handle. So yeah, that's where you can find me, and I'm always welcome to have Supabase questions. So if you have any kind of Supabase questions, feel free to tag me on a tweet, and hopefully I can answer them.
Amazing. Amazing. Listen, folks, take advantage of that, okay? Take advantage of that opportunity. I've
Yeah, yeah,
shared it now for the folks on LinkedIn who can see my screen now and can just copy and paste. And I'm going to drop it on Twitch as well, so you have the direct link. So go ahead and give Tyler a follow. Notice how I didn't even try to pronounce your last name at the beginning of the call. I was like, yeah, Tyler's here. So thank you for clarifying that. It's just
yeah.
awesome. Okay, Tyler, it's super late for you. It's now tomorrow. You're living in the future now.
Oh
It's
yeah.
it's the weekend for you. So if there is anything else that you can leave us with, I want to ask you one quick question before we go,
Hmm.
because this is like
Yeah.
full circle moment. As you mentioned that you're sort of what kicked off your contributing to open source was Supabase, right? This is
Hmm.
how you started your sort of your involvement in open source.
Yeah.
Any advice for people who are in the position you were at before you started? Like, what can you, if I'm watching this, I'm kind of
Yeah.
curious about open source. I don't know if I want to do it. Like, is there anything that you wish you known then that you know now?
Yeah, I guess one thing I can say is don't be scared. Before
Love
my
that.
first contribution, I was definitely scared. I was scared to like, are people gonna be nice to me? Am I gonna break stuff? I don't know, like even to a point like like if something breaks, am I gonna get sued or stuff like that? Well, obviously that's gonna happen if something goes wrong. It's not your fault. It's the reviewer's fault. It's open source. The reviewer has to make sure that everything is all right. But like most likely that's not gonna happen. But yeah, don't be scared. You can just even if you're not sure what exactly to do, you can kind of start out with a draft PR, maybe even, and ask some of the people there at the company or project. Is this the right direction? Am I doing it right, or should we do it in another way? And usually people are really nice, so don't be scared. Just try to jump in there, and it's really a lot easier than you think.
I love that. So don't be scared. And if you're scared, do it scared anyways. Do it scared. Do it scared. But it sounds like you have a lovely, welcoming community, excellent documentation, super active discussions. And with all these meetups, like there's plenty of opportunities for people to get involved and have a good experience. So I'm here for all of it. So great. Taylor, thank you so much for being so gracious with your time. I appreciate you being here. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I had a lovely time here.
Amazing. All right. Well, I'm going to make sure that I share all the links again on the notes afterwards. But folks, make sure that you go by the Supabase main repo and drop a star, please. Should be over 100K. I feel like it's too easy.
Oh
It's
yeah.
too easy to get it over 100K. So let's do that. Let's do that Open
Let's do
Source
it.
Friday. Thank
Oh
you,
yeah.
Tyler, for
Oh yeah.
being here. We'll catch you next time. Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was my pleasure.
How cool is Tyler? I love this. I was fan of Supabase superficially, not living in that space and not working in it, but now I'm even a bigger fan. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you learned a lot from this. I think sounds like a really good community for you to be a part of and get involved with open source. So give it a go. Give it a go. If you do decide to do something because you watch this, I always say this, and I'm not lying. Let me know. Send me a DM, please, because you have no idea. Beyond me digging in my box and sending you a little something as a thank you for watching and being involved, it just it makes the heart beat. Okay, to know that something you caught on Open Source Friday actually help you get started, or maybe change your mind about something. I don't know. It's the little things. Friends, for those of you in Atlanta metro area, I feel like a salesperson, but I'm selling nothing. I'm selling a free ticket to an amazing conference full of vibes, tech, incredible speakers. The GitHub team is going to be there. We have an amazing booth. If you haven't seen, here comes the challenge. Sorry, friends, you're not going to do it. Sometimes you just got to. If you haven't seen what our special giveaway swag is, let's see, how could I share this? We are giving away a pair of not personalized, custom Nike Air Force Ones. Y'all, not for nothing, but they're so cute. Like I would buy this. I would buy it. But we don't want to sell them, and they are not for sale. They are not available at the GitHub store. They are basically exclusive to Render ATL conference. So if you ever been motivated to attend the conference by the swag, this might be it. Please, please, please join up. Let me go ahead and see if I can share my screen. Gosh, it wants me to quit and reopen and do all those things. Listen, if you follow me on X, even if you don't follow me, none of my stuff is restricted. Just go by there and take a look at those kicks because they are epic. I'm going to share the link to it now. And again, if you are in the Atlanta area or can make your way to Atlanta and don't have a ticket for Render ATL, but would like to go to Render ATL, please do me a favor and send me a DM on the same place as well. I'm just posting the direct link. Go look at this picture, y'all. Those are so good. Oh, actually, Tyler, you're the GOAT. Tyler's still hanging out backstage. And it's like, Tyler, you're hired. Production team member number 1. Thank you so much. How cute are those? I can't even. I hope I think our team is like gonna be fairy godmothers to the folks that are coming in to work the booth. So maybe your girl gets a pair. Maybe that would be amazing. But please come by, join us at Render ATL. It's so great to see you. And come by and say hi. We're all super friendly, I promise you. At least say hi to me. Like I can't speak for other people. Say hi to me. And I hope to see you both at our workshop and at my talk on Wednesday. All right. Let's go, friends. Start your weekend. Don't forget, if you're watching this after the fact and you heard that question about like, oh, what's my favorite swag? When I tell you that if you add me, I'm going to come back and read it. I'm going to come back and read it. Okay. So please do it because we're always looking for like super cool ideas to give you things that actually like you like and want to use. Like these Spero trainers, I cannot wait to get my hands on. All right, friends. I appreciate you all. You're amazing. Thank you for being here and your support of open source. Stick around. Leave this on. In about 2 hours, my amazing colleague, Tyler Shukert, will be here with the folks from Automatic, I believe is the name of the project. Super interesting stuff. We touch all aspects of open source here, and this project sounds like it's legit saving lives. So please stick around and join. And then I'd be remiss if I don't leave you with this banger. I am obsessed with this song, y'all. I gotta move on, but it's not gonna happen today. Catch you all next week, or catch you in 2 hours for a second Open Source Friday. Please don't forget, if you or someone you know is going to be in the Atlanta area next week and would like to become a Render ATL ticket, please let me know. Let's not let this free ticket go to waste. So tell your friends, tell your enemies. I will catch you next time.